and welcome back to Carla's Kitchen, where I share recipes and tips on how to get the most out of your TSA box. Today I'm just going to talk about a couple of ingredients that you might be seeing in your box that you might not know what to do with. A couple of my favorite things that we've been seeing is this green garlic. Now it really looks like a green onion or a scallion, so be careful when you go to use it because this is actually a green garlic. And green garlic is basically just a young and immature garlic. This will eventually become a bulb, but when it's picked early, it looks very similar to a scallion. Now with green garlic, it's a bit milder than an actual clove or a bulb of garlic, so you can use it in a lot of different ways. The key is you want to use the white part and maybe up to about here for your cooking. And then the greens, I would say save those for more soups and stocks and flavoring, things like that. So the way I use green garlic is I just chop it up really finely, and you can use it to saute with some greens. So I'll talk a little bit about how to use that with some baby bok choy or some spinach or kale. It's also great in pesto, especially since it does have a little bit of a milder flavor. It's great in pestos. So you're just basically using this like you would use your regular garlic. But again, just keeping in mind, this is a little bit more milder. One of the other things that we're seeing is our baby bok choy. I really love baby bok choy raw and cooked. So for a raw preparation, all you're gonna do is cut off this bottom part, give it a nice coarse chop. And this is great in any type of Asian salads, like an Asian chicken salad with some cucumber, some peanuts, and maybe a little bit of a ginger vinaigrette or like a peanut ginger dressing. It's also great cooked. So the best way to use this is to, again, cut off the bottom, give it a rough chop, saute a little bit of that green garlic and some olive oil, just add in your baby bok choy. You can also add in some other greens like spinach or kale. And at the very end, I do a little bit of a drizzle of some toasted sesame oil and sprinkle with some sesame seeds, and it makes a really great side dish, and it comes together in minutes. One of the other things you've been seeing are these white Japanese turnips. These are called hakurei turnips. They are absolutely delicious. They have a very thin skin. You don't need to peel these, just wash them. You can chop them up, eat them raw, and put them in salads. They have like a really nice sweet flavor. They're also great roasted with a little bit of miso and a little bit of butter, and you can roast them in the oven. So these are your hakurei turnips. They're also great in soups too. We've been seeing these beautiful red breakfast radishes. These are also great in salads, but what I like to do is cut them really fine and put them on a little bit of a toast point in the morning. I'll take some toast, maybe a little bit of fresh goat cheese and some thinly sliced radish and a little flake salt, maybe a little bit of a drizzle of some lemon olive oil, and it makes a great little appetizer or even a little bit breakfast treat alongside maybe some scrambled eggs. So lastly, I want to talk about this kale. A lot of people have a love-hate relationship with kale. They find it to be bitter. So I'm going to talk through a couple of ways to get your kale to not be so bitter. So the first thing you want to do with your kale is you want to de-stem it. The easiest way to do that is to grab the stem, kind of hold it upside down, take your hand and just drag it, and that will remove the leaves because you don't want to eat this fibrous stalk. This is very bitter. And then other ways to use this is to just give this a really tight chop. And I find that when you chop it really finely, that it also kind of tempers that bitterness as well. And I'm sure you've heard of massaging kale, or maybe you haven't, but basically it's just taking the kale. I'll just tear this up to show you. And you're just kind of working it down. And what this does is it breaks down the cell walls of the kale and makes it less bitter. So if you're gonna be eating this raw in a salad, this is a great way to make your kale less bitter. Now this is the Siberian variety, so it is a little bit less bitter, a little sweeter than say a lacinato kale. But this is great raw in salads and also great sauteed again with that green garlic and a little bit of olive oil. You can do a splash of sesame oil and then also some soy sauce. So I hope you enjoyed these little bit of tips, and I hope to see you next week, and make sure to check your newsletter for recipes. Thank you.